Victor Wembanyama's got something big planned for year 2 in the NBA, and it's not just gaining 25 pounds this offseason. But yes, the kid is huge. From the draft to year 1, he added 10 pounds to his body. Now, the NBA website's got him listed at 210. That needs an update, because the Spurs training camp roster came out, and he's a whopping 235 pounds. Dude, what did this kid do? Well, Shams says right when the season ended, he lived in the gym, did 2-a-days, laser focused on basketball. Imagine that. Now, a lot of that had to do with the Olympics, but the media said, yo, people are saying you could be the best player in the NBA now. And what was his response?
I just focus on, my actual responsibilities, because I don't have any responsibility to any of you, really. So.
Ha! Kid's like, to be honest, I don't care what any of you guys think. Oh, Perk thinks I'm gonna be great on ESPN? Great! On the flip side, you think about someone like Shaq. He was also a 7-footer who could do amazing things, spent 4 years in Orlando, but as soon as he got to LA at age 24, started rapping, getting into acting in movies. Yes, he won 4 championships, but people said he could have been the GOAT if he was focused. Wemby's 25 pounds is another sign of that. So what are the chances that Wemby makes that top 5 player leap this year? But the NBA preseason is here and the actual season is about a week away, and I've been playing Underdog to keep the preseason fun. I pick higher or lower with my favorite team or whatever games I'm gonna watch that night in the preseason. And with their new game streaks, you can up to 1,000x your money. So let's get your streak started off right with 2 picks. First up, let's go Giannis, less than his points. Then James Harden, less than his points. It's the preseason. And best of luck if you were tailing those picks. Check out this updated map to see if Underdog is available in your area. By the way, if you only like one of my picks, no problem. They have promos going on, and if you use my promo code AMHOOPS, you get a free pick plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Well, the first thing has to be his offense, because FanDuel says the defense is already elite. Number 1 for Defensive Player of the Year preseason. This is such a big lead over second place Chet Holmgren. It's like if the Celtics played the Kings in the NBA Finals. And by the way, I think it's crazy that Gobert is so far down the list, below Evan Mobley. People are just tired of voting for this dude. But the offense needs to get better. So last year, the Spurs had a little experiment. They started with Jeremy Sohan at point guard, Zach Collins at center. By the end of the year, though, all that changed. They moved Trey Jones to point, Collins got benched. The result was an increase in every stat, including league average from 3, which is huge. I mean, don't let these highlights get routine. Look at this. We've never seen anything like this before. But Wemby literally told us what he worked on offensively this summer. And this didn't get reported everywhere. But his potential is wild. I mean, as a rookie, 7'4" with guard skills. Oh, Bol can do it too, but not every night. Last year, we saw Vic behind the back dribble to beat Damian Lillard, throw a lob to himself off the glass, insane blocks. That Statue of Liberty dunk over Derek White was alien. But Vic says he worked on fundamentals. Why? Because let his size be the mismatch and just do the little things to beat his opponent. But what does Chris Paul now mean to Wemby's growth? It's the biggest question in San Antonio right now. And a lot of people say, oh, CP went there to be a mentor, to teach the next generation on his way out. But actually, this isn't the end of Chris Paul's championship window. The reason is San Antonio promised him a starting spot. Trey Jones will go to the bench, and we've already seen what the CP-Wemby connection can be. In their first preseason game, the two got in their pick-and-roll action, worked the two-man game to a sweet lob. Chris loves a center. It's what people said when he went to Phoenix. Remember that? What's he going to be for DeAndre Ayton? And Ayton's not even a factor anymore in Portland, but somehow got a max contract in Phoenix. Oh, Chris Paul had a lot to do with that. Tyson Chandler put up career numbers back in 2008. DeAndre Jordan led the NBA in field goal percentage 5 years in a row on the Clips. Then in Houston, Clint Capella led the NBA in field goal. Next season, put up career points. But CP chose the Spurs because Victor's greatness will revive how people think about him. Just listen to how Chris Paul spoke about Victor before becoming a Spur.
Wemby is different. Wemby is the guy that after the game in the locker room, we all was talking about playing against him because we literally all had to change the way we shot a little bit.
Yeah, because there's highlights of like Steph Curry driving into the lane, having a wide open shot and being like, nah.
It wasn't just Steph. It was half the league.
Exactly. And Chris Paul saw Vic's teammates last year refusing to throw him lobs and was like, I can take this kid to another level. So do you know how good CP's gonna look when him and Vic are cooking every night? That's where this championship window comes in. How much money did Chris Paul sign for this season? Well, going back 10 years, he has always made over 20 million bucks. But on the Spurs, 10.4 million. Not 9 million, not 13, probably could have gotten more. Why 10.4? It is almost the exact number of the mid-level exception. It used to be that the mid-level had to be spent in the offseason on a free agent, but now with the new rules, teams can trade for that mid-level number. So if CP is a beast, he could be traded to a contender with the new rules. And available teams, the Cavs, Pacers, and Grizz could sign him easy. But teams below that would need to cut salary to get below the apron. The Lakers, Nuggets, Heat, Bucks, Wolves, Knicks, Suns, and Celtics. Again, it would be more complicated for those bottom teams, but it can be done. Now, I don't think that the Spurs want for that to happen. They want to push and make the play-in. But how realistic is that? Well, we already saw how improved SA was later in the season last year. Like, you might remember, they beat the Nuggets on the final day of the season, but how good were they? Well, from day one until late February, they went 11-48, dead last in the West, an 18-game losing streak thrown in. But from late February on, they went 11-12. Decent, but good for 11th in the West. If you extrapolate that win percentage for a whole year, they're still 12th place. They were improved, but not that improved. I think if the Spurs are losing by the trade deadline, they're gonna trade Chris Paul for a draft pick and go for Cooper Flagg. This draft is so deep, they could get the 3rd or 4th pick and get a legit number 2 player for Wemby, because it's all about 5 years from now, not this year. At that point, there will be no more LeBron in the league, Jimmy Butler, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant. The old vets at that point will be like Nikola Jokic, Giannis, Joel Embiid, if he's still healthy enough to play. Stars in their prime at that point will be Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jason Tatum still, Luka Doncic, Anthony Edwards, and a young Cooper Flagg. Then it'll be about who can build the best team around their star, who can navigate this new CBA to create a dynasty. So until then, maybe Victor can win a Defensive Player of the Year or 2, maybe an MVP, but the Spurs know it's not about the 2025 play-in. That's not the point. Oh, they're gonna look like they're trying to win this year, getting Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes, but deep down, it's the long term. So year 2 is gonna be fun for Wemby individually, but just like his rookie season, the actual team around him could be trash, hoping for another top pick. But who will actually get Cooper Flagg? Well, I identified 2 likely teams in the West, 4 more in the East, but the real fun is the 3 already loaded teams who have a legitimate chance. See, there's a weird scenario where the number 1 pick actually goes to a team that's already about to win a championship.